How quickly they have turned from the way I commanded them to live. These were the sad words that God uttered to Moses in a very vulnerable period of time for the people of Israel. It was a time in which the people of Israel were starting to take form as a community. They were building a tabernacle that would house God. They were basically establishing themselves as a people. And Moses had gone up a mountain to talk with God and to receive from God the laws that would govern this people, because they had been living in captivity in Egypt for over 400 years and needed new customs, new rules and regulations, new ways of living. And in this, Moses went up to receive those rules. We know them today as the 10 Commandments. But while Moses was away, the people began to become desperate. In fact, they were so desperate that they started to nag on Aaron, Moses' brother, and say, Aaron, we don't know where this fellow Moses has gone, and we don't have a God to serve. We would like to have a golden God for ourselves that we could bow down to and worship. And Aaron, in this desperation, decides to ask them to take off all their earrings and their jewelry, and he tossed them in the fire, and in that they shaped and formed this golden calf. And then there was a festival that the people put together, and they started having dancing and all this celebration, and Aaron declares that this is the God that freed the Israelites out of Egypt. In reality, this was not. This was a man-made object, but yet they projected their desire for some sort of visible thing they could see as to call it God. And of course, in that, God notices what is happening and tells Moses, quickly go back down the mountain to these people, for they have gone out of control. And here comes that phrase, how quickly they have turned from the way I commanded them to live. Ouch. Now here's the thing, before we judge the people of Israel, because we start to think, well, but didn't they go through all these miracles, the parting of the Red Seas, 10 plagues before that? They got fed manna miraculously in the desert. Then they were given water to drink. Clearly, God has showed them time after time after time that he was reliable and that he was real, and that they didn't need to see with their naked eyes who he was. They needed to just believe and trust and follow him. Before we go judging them, let's take a quick look in the mirror and actually consider our own selves. Here's my encouragement to you. Take a deep dive into your own life and how you have idolized things above God that you should not have, because they are visible to you. Maybe they make you feel comfortable and provide a certain level of proof that that's more reliable than God. That could be a person, that could be things that you do, activities that you do, that could be your own children or family, that could be the world around you, your job, your finances. There could be a whole host of things that you could turn into an idol. But in this, oftentimes we do this because we think there is no evidence for who God is. And I want to tell you that there is more than enough evidence to suggest that God is who he says he is, that Jesus did indeed die on the cross for our sins and resurrect on the third day. There are historical documents, verifiable for years upon years, manuscripts upon manuscripts of the scriptures that have been created by men and women of God who died sacrificially to get these things in our hands today. And the Bible in and of itself, 66 books that miraculously came together, are infinite amounts of proof, or should I say evidence for that. So I encourage you, look all around you. Look at the miracles you have. Look at the person that you are. Look at the fact that you're breathing. Look at the fact that there are sun in the sky that rises for the good and the bad, that there are birds in the air, beasts of the field that you can see. And these serve as evidence to a creator, not that we should be worshiping these things, but that we should worship the one who created all of these things, including you and me.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Also, click one of the videos below for more.